Hello, happy Sunday. Happy Valentine's Day, if that's important to you. Not so much to me, but we're going to actually talk. I hijacked the Hallmark holiday for my own purposes, and we're going to talk about self-love today. So if you're watching at this point, you're likely watching on the replay. Thank you for coming. I go live here every Sunday at 6 o'clock Istanbul, which is 9 a.m., 9, 10, 11, which is 10 a.m. East Coast, 7 a.m. West Coast in the U.S. So you come live. Some weeks I do group readings. I do group readings almost every week. Most weeks I do individual readings. Today I won't be doing any individual readings. I'm going to do a group reading. We'll probably do a healing in the end. But I want to talk about what I mean by self-love. I'm going to try to put into words what it is that I've been learning over these past years about what I just feel is probably the most profound concept, one of the most profound concepts, which is self-love, love of self, and what does that really mean? And who is this self that we're loving, and who is the one who is loving the self? What the fuck is going on here? So come on in, say hi please as you're coming in so I know who's here today. That would be great. I'm going to have a little bit of coffee because I didn't have time to have it before I started. It's 6 in the evening here on a snowy winter day here in Istanbul. So welcome, everybody. Let's start out with the group reading. I forget what I typed into Facebook that I said the reading was about, or said that the session was about. I forget exactly what I said, but it's going to be about self-love and what it really means and why it's important. This idea that I want to talk about today about self-love and loving of self. Hello, Shaden. Shaden says hello. Who else is going to say hello to me so I know that you're here? Please don't let me feel like I'm all alone on Valentine's Day. How's that for a little guilt? Reminds you of anything in your life? Okay, anyway. So, sorry, I'm having a good time over here. All right, we'll do a group reading to get started. Hi, Susie. Well, the group reading's not messing around. Starting off here with the Judgment card. Page of Cups. Eight of Wands. So those are our cards for the group reading for today. Hey, Alex, good to see you. Hi, Darylyn, how are you? And then whoever else that is, that might be Miles, and I can't see who you are after Darylyn. Thanks, Susie. I had a man here who is a guy I'm kind of working with here as a volunteer, doing some healing work with him. That's a whole other story. Oh my God. It's just, anyway, it's amazing what gay men in the Muslim world have to deal with as part of their lives. It's just anyway, that's a whole other story. So Judgment card. It's time to really deal with something here. What do we want to deal with? The Page of Cups is basically an offer of love. Hi, Mauricio. An offer of love coming in reverse. Cards are saying it's time to kind of finally really deal with the things that are not in their right place around our ability to give to ourselves tidings of love, tidings of good cheer, the sense of all is well. Amazing to me. Because why? It's interesting to me that this is what's showing up as like the why here, that this is important. What the cards are giving me as the direction is, there's a couple things here. So the Eight of Wands came in reverse. So frustrated energy, not able to function properly, not able to serve us. Eight of Wands is basically the force of God, the force of spirit, the forward-moving fire of life that's moving us forward, moving us ahead. So it's very interesting to me. I do shuffle and I do pick the cards. I don't set this up. I don't set this up with the cards, but I do the readings. But it's so amazing to me, the judgment card, because the judgment is about what I would say is that it's showing up. We've all learned a lot. We've gone through a lot around this, whether we're aware of it or not, around this theme of deeply loving ourselves. That's what this is telling me. There's already been a lot of lessons learned. But now the reading is saying it's time to kind of do a final reckoning, let's say. Meaning it's time to look at the dead bodies coming up out of the ground. This card comes from the idea of a more Christian idea of the judgment, the final judgment. It's the idea that things that are not in their right place need to be put in their right place. Dead bodies need to be just fucking buried. Things that no longer serve, things that will not take us forward, need to be let go of. The things that do serve us need to be brought on board, owned, internalized. I'm hearing the word memorialized. What would that mean? Being made known, being seen, and being given their proper due. Maybe that's why. Because I think the thing is, for most of us, we think this idea of self-love, self-care. I hate both of those terms. There's so many terms that we use. I feel like a crotchety old fart sometimes. The reason why I don't like them is because these terms is that self-care is great. I don't begrudge any of us for doing that. You know, I try to have a massage. Well, I've been traveling this year every couple of weeks if I can. It's been phenomenal for me. But what I'm trying to get to, and I'm going to talk here in a minute, I'm going to put the cards away in a second, and then try to get into what I feel like there's a profound depth to this idea of what it means to love ourselves, and it feels to me like a spiritual obligation to do so. This is kind of pointing at that. Why? Because if we are here, and maybe this fits for you in some way, if it doesn't, maybe find words that speak to this that work for you, is that, you know, possibly we're here in these bodies on this planet at this time to serve a higher purpose. Of whatever way, make that work for you. Come play with me, make that work for you. And if we are, then it is our duty in that purpose. So for me, the word mission has always spoke to me ever since I was pretty young, that I'm here on a mission. Purpose. And that if that's true, there is an obligation to take care of that which is here to serve that purpose. So what do I mean by this? I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then we're going to do some healing around this theme here together before we're done today. And we'll be done no longer than a half an hour from now, maybe even sooner. Self-love. So many of us, so many of the people that I work with, do readings for, I work with over months in my mentorship program, in this lifetime are dealing with and are trying to heal from childhoods that had profound difficulty of different sorts, whether it's obvious to them at the time we start or not. It often becomes clear that there were things missing there. Why? It shows up in the body as they do healing. Things show up, memories resurface. Why is this important? I put the cards back. That Eight of Wands, if you look at that as the force of life that is given to us, that can move through us, into the world, that force of life that we have access to. spiritual force, the spirit, life in all of its forms, physical energy, emotional availability, um, inspired energy, as opposed to heavy, feeling weighed down energy. Our ability to be as full of a transmitter, as full of a vessel for that energy to come through us, is intimately, profoundly dependent on what that energy has to pass through on its way through and out us. What does that mean? Well, if we're carrying around the residue of the past, whether it's from this life or previous lives, and we all are, I would propose, then it greatly limits not only our enjoyment of our own lives, not only it limits our ability to discover what is deep in us, which is lying waiting for us to come and find it. So those gifts, those talents, those perspectives, those ideas, those opinions, the ability to love that is deeper in us is not able to come out when we are filled with energy that is trapped from the past. And so everybody here likely has some appreciation for that, because it's become a key part of my work in this last year. This particular part of my teaching has become really key, because I've seen that people can change their mindsets, people can become more trusting a little bit, at least in life, but you start hitting severe limitations if you're not directly dealing with the energetic residue of the past. So what I have discovered, what the people who take this kind of work, whether it's what I talk about or other people that talk about similar things, people that take that kind of personal work seriously, meaning releasing the residue of the past. It can be called shadow work of a kind, but not all shadow work is what I'm talking about. This is not a mental exercise. This is a very physical, very energetic process. Doing that kind of work, as well as other kinds of work also on oneself to free yourself, is a profound act of self-love. Because what I see is that me, you, I, whoever I is that's saying this, I'm going to speak in first person, and let that first person, when I say I, let that I also know that I'm speaking about you, and I invite you to hear it as if you are saying these same words, or I'm saying these same words relative to you, because then I won't fuck up the pronouns. I, whoever I am who is saying this now, who's aware, that part of me that is aware enough of my circumstances, of my situation, of being here, being with you, to call myself I. That I, choosing to take on the work of freeing, doing the personal work, taking the time, giving my heart, giving my interest to doing this personal work to free parts of me, parts of I that I don't even know yet. These deeper parts of me that I may see in glimpses, I may intimate, I may get in visions of what it is that I am capable of, that I am here to do. It may come in inspiration, in a longing, a desire to do, to give. Those deeper parts of me. So there's an I here talking to you, to the I that's in you that can pay attention It's our ability to determine where we pay attention, where we give our attention to. It's the most profound thing. Lower forms of life don't seem to have this in the same way. For instance, most of us, most of the time, don't have this capacity because there are so many things. I don't have my phone around me. The phone is the least, I mean, it's not the only thing, but there are so many things, the inner dialogue, the inner pain, the conditioned thinking, the shit that comes at us from mainstream this, that, and the other thing. All of these things, they hijack pieces of our ability to freely pay attention. So this is a first layer, is to begin to rescue my ability to pay attention with as much will and ability to control it as possible. So beginning to do that work, then choosing to say, okay, there's stuff going on in here, and I'm starting to realize it. And I've heard from this guy Daniel and some other people, whoever you're getting, whatever you're getting from. I mean, I'm not the only one out here talking about this stuff. That there's ways in which I can do deeper work to not only free this part of my attention, but to free my inner ability, my ability inwardly to express more of who I am. So for me, one way I see self-love in this way is choosing to go on a rescue mission for your soul. Because those deeper parts of us are there lying in wait. And it's amazing to me when I'm in a session with somebody and we do work and they get in touch with those deeper parts of them and it comes forward and there's just this sense of, oh my God, I didn't realize this was part of who I am. And there can be this sense of, can be a profound sense of gratitude and love. And there's a sacredness to that. There's just a sense of, oh, this is really important. This part of me, which I've now touched into, this is really important. Not only to help me in my life, to enjoy my life, to feel more free, to feel more expressive, etc., 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 to have a better quality of life. Nothing wrong with that. But there's also this other part of the picture, which is those deeper, more full, whole, that sense of wholeness of us has shit to do here. What that is, we get to find out by beginning to be in touch with them, allowing them to live through us. Because it's not the same for each of us. Now, if you saw my YouTube video, I made it about a week ago, talking about how each of our uniqueness is desperately needed here. These are the kinds of visions I've been getting for over 20 years. It's when I say these things, I'm not just blowing smoke up people's ass to make them feel better about themselves. It's like, no, this is really, this is the game. Consider maybe it doesn't settle with you. Maybe it doesn't hit you as resonating for you. That's cool. That's fine. But maybe the game we're here to play is actually something that's way bigger than we could possibly imagine. So this love of self, as I see it, has these dimensions which we're choosing to put time, energy, and attention to do work which is generally not very fun, to be honest. The effects of it can be amazing, like really great, but the work itself is generally not that much fun. But to dare to love enough a part of ourselves that we don't even really know yet. What I just got was this image of like for those of you who have been parents, even if you're not, you can relate to what I'm talking about. It's that sense of this new baby, this child. It could be a new pet or something, where this being who you do not know, suddenly they're here in your hands, and you've just barely gotten the littlest glimpse of them, and for some reason you are profoundly in love, and just this sense of that I will do anything for that being. How about being that for these parts of yourself that you have glimpses of in moments, maybe living more and more as you've been on this path, and just say, no, this is one of the things that I'm living for. So this looks like finding ways to finding time to do this releasing work, deconditioning, healing work, finding time to what do these deeper parts of me enjoy doing? What are the states of being, the activities in life that allow this profound part of me to come forward and express its wholeness? Sorry. It's that kind of a love for these parts of ourselves that we barely know. And it seems that this is my job. And one of the major themes in my life that has created a lot of difficulty in my life is outsourcing that job to other people. So those of you who are on here, I know some part of everybody's story, and everybody's got their version of what I'm just speaking about, is looking to another person or another situation to give the love to something deep in me which is longing for it. And do you get that I'm speaking about this on a couple different levels? Because there's those wounds from childhood, etc. And this is more common parlance in our day and age. These wounds from childhood, these needs that need to get met, and we're looking to other people to fill them, and we're often finding the mirror image of the people that couldn't meet them in the past. And now we're expecting this new version of the same old one to do what the old one couldn't do. Codependence, narcissism, all this kind of world. I'm speaking about that completely. And I'm also at the same time speaking about something deeper. And they both co-occur. And it's the deeper part I'm trying to give voice to today, because it's the deeper part that I think that even myself, and I spent my whole fucking life thinking about these things and working with people on them. I mean, this is what I do with my life. And even at that, it's challenging to keep remembering it, because it's a kind of obligation to myself, an obligation to the world through myself, that's hard to hold on to for very long. So I don't know that this language speaks to you, but for most of the people that are here, I think you'll understand the language, is that we are our own Messiah. And we are the Messiah for the world right now. Each of us becoming who we already truly deeply are. It's that kind of a love for ourselves, and that kind of a love for the world. See, the thing is, for me personally, to be honest, I don't really it doesn't excite me about saving the world. It doesn't excite me. Saving the environment, saving this, it just doesn't touch me personally. Other people it does. That's cool. We're all different about this. What touches me is seeing people emerge as the fullness that they are, It totally fucking turns me on. And that seems to be part of the gift that is locked up in these deeper parts of me that I've been discovering over these past 6 years as I've gone on my own deep dive. After 25 years of a lot of other work. But this deeper work for me, the deeper healing, it's profound.